So for this, it's the formation of Grignard's reagent in addition to carbonyl groups. So you have magnesium to make Grignard's reagent, then a carbonyl, and it can be a formaldehyde, aldehyde, or ketone. So in this case, we have our starting material, which is alkali halide, and it's bromine. For example, it can also be iodine, and then you add Mg, right? So when you add Mg, this entire structure becomes a nucleophile. So then you have your carbonyl. In this case, it's a ketone. So this nucleophile will go here and attack this carbon double bonded to the oxygen. So the double bond, right? The double bond will go to the oxygen and become a negative charge, and this will attach. Be careful not to lose any carbons on the way. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons total. So we need to make sure this has 5 carbons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbons. So always make sure to count the beginning and end products, or the beginning reactants and the product, to make sure they have the same amount of carbons. So then you have acid, right? The acid will attach to the oxygen and make a alcohol, okay? And the ether is just to stabilize the compounds. So the next thing is, well, this is the same thing, right? All I did was the Br-Mg forms MgBr, and it follows this structure. But this is how you would write the entire mechanism, or not the mechanism, but the actual reaction. You just, instead of, because this is the mechanism, the reaction is written like this. You have your ether and your carbonyl. In this case, it would be a ketone, and 2 would be the acid, which helps make the alcohol. So in this case, since we used a ketone, it would form a tertiary alcohol, right? Because at this point, right, there's 3 carbons attached to it. So it'd be a tertiary alcohol. Now all this, right, this is the same thing. All I'm saying is this is the starting material and this is the reagents. So for the next one, if we do the same thing, right, so the same thing except we replace it with a hydrogen, this would be a aldehyde, right? So when you have an aldehyde, it becomes a secondary alcohol. And finally, when you have a formaldehyde, which is 2 hydrogens, and you do the same mechanism, you'll have a primary alcohol. So this is just showing you what you can do with this mechanism. So if you needed a primary alcohol, given this, you could use Grignard's reagent and then form a primary alcohol. So this just gives you more tools for synthesis questions on exams. So I hope that helped, and thanks for watching.